Yes, Paula Abdul sang about it way back in 1988, but it seems the age-old adage that opposites attract isn't actually true.
Yeah, so for more of this now, we're joined by a relationship expert, Julia Nowland. Great to see you, Julia. So, you know, MC Scat Cat's obviously wrong about this. I mean, he's rapping now, but where is he now?
Exactly.
There's been numerous studies conducted about this, about the laws of attraction over the years. So what's the research say?
Okay. It is something that we've been interested in for quite a while. So probably since about the 1950s, we've been wondering, do opposites attract? And I think there's been something like over 240 studies on it. And we're really looking at things like attitudes, common interests, values. And so in 2013, two psychologists went, right, let's get all the information from all this research. And they found one thing that was inarguable, and that was the more we are similar to someone, the more interested we are in them. So, for example...
Like you're mirroring the things that they like about themselves?
That could be one way to see it,
okay.
Yes. So it's really, what they're looking at is personality traits. And so there's things like agreeableness, adventure, emotional stability. So really what's happening is if you're someone who's an extrovert, you are more likely to want to gravitate to someone who's also an extrovert.
Okay, that's interesting because despite all of that evidence, 86% of us still admit to looking for a partner with opposite traits or ending up with a partner who has opposite traits. Why do we do that?
I think because we're human and we're very complex, really. So what ends up happening is similarities is on a continuum. So we've got 100% similar, 100% opposite, and nobody's 100% of anything. So we're somewhere along that continuum. And what ends up happening is we will have similarities that we're attracted to, but there's also going to be differences. So we tend to kind of highlight the differences, and that's what we argue over. We don't really argue over someone who's being similar to us.
So what should we be looking for in a partner when it comes to similarities?
Okay, so a really good start is looking at common interests. Common values, I think, is probably the best because really, if you're someone who values security and stability, then your goals in life are going to centre around that, and so are your interests. So having someone with similar goals, but also have some understanding and some compassion for your partner around the differences that you have.
So is it important then to still have some differences? I mean, if your core values, obviously your core values are going to be like your partner's, but, you know, in any relationship there are going to be differences, aren't there?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I think differences is important because in the difference, that's where the passion lies. So we need a little bit of healthy tension in our relationships. We need to know that I am an individual within this couple. So having some differences allows you to recognise that actually I am different from my partner. My partner is a different person to me. And it gives us a chance to grow. Otherwise, we become stale.
Do you think Hollywood has a part to play in this? Do you think like rom-coms and Matthew McConaughey films make us all feel like, oh, I just want someone who's just different, he's just crazy?
I just want Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, and when really you just want Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. No, I love my partner.
I was referring to you. Why did you bring that onto yourself?
You're saying that Hollywood is responsible for giving us unrealistic expectations about romance?
Who would have thought?
I would never say that on
the front page.
I know. But, yeah, right?
Yeah, it actually goes back further than that. When we look at the romance period, when we look at the history of marriage, we no longer have to be with our partner for survival. We used to shack up with someone... Yes. Well, we no longer shack up with someone because we need to toil the fields. And now we go into romance. And so we have poetry and we have songs and, you know, we look at things like Twilight and we look at these like, oh, I'm going to die for them because they are completely, I'm alive, he's inhuman. Yeah. And
isn't the term shack up a good one, right?
I love a good shack up.
Why did we shack up? Because we're in the fields toiling?
Yes.
Okay.
You've got to go to the shack at the end of the day.
I suppose that's where it came from, right?
That's where you get the shack up.
Thank you, Julia.
Thanks, Julia.
For more relationship advice, you can head to wholeheartrelationships.com.